Hey guys and girls, Board now back with you. Happy holidays once again, and now I'm going to look at some of the highlights coming on TV and film in the coming year, 2025. Of course, some of these release dates are subject to change, but I'm going to give you a little bit of preview of what you can expect in the next 12 months. I'll start off with TV. On New Year's Day on Netflix, you have a new documentary series, Don't Die, The Man Who Wants to Live Forever. So the documentary is by Brian Johnson, and he is the subject of it as well. And it's about his many efforts to defy aging based on many articles and videos. So has a bit of a human interest and sci-fi type angle to it. Also the same day on Netflix too, we have Missing You, which is the latest limited series based on Harlan Coben's novels. Detective Kate Donovan discovers her missing fiancé on a dating app over a decade since his disappearance. This one stars, amongst others, Rosaline Isazan, Richard Armitage, Lenny Henry, Ashley Walters, and James Nesbitt, amongst many others. And also on the first, once again sticking on Netflix, The Love Scam, which is an Italian romantic comedy about two brothers who plan to scam a wealthy heiress. For something a little bit dramatic and based on a true life story, on the 2nd of January, BBC and Netflix in a co-production bring you Lockerbie. So this is the 6-part series. It's based on the real events surrounding the 1988 Lockerbie bombing and the joint Scots-US air investigation which sought to bring the perpetrators to justice. So I'm guessing this is a more familiar true life story in this country, in the UK, than it would be abroad and in other areas. So it could offer something if you're not that familiar with the case. The cast includes Scoop's Connor Swindles, Merritt Weaver of Unbelievable fame, Eddie Marsan, and Phyllis Logan. A more starry version of the story comes from Sky later in the year, and that stars Oscar winner Colin Firth. On January 6, live wrestling comes to Netflix for the first time, 31 years after debuting and leading to the famed Monday Night Wars. WWE's premier television show, Raw, is coming live to Netflix every Monday. Stars expected to appear on the launch include John Cena, Roman Reigns, Bianca Belair, CM Punk, and the returning Becky Lynch. B-Show SmackDown also debuts on Netflix later that week, as does NXT. The rumour is that the pay-per-views will also stream later, plus a host of specials. What will happen to the massive back catalogue, including WCW and ECW, remains to be seen.
Breaking announcement that will change the TV world as we know it.
Coming January the 9th on Netflix, from the writer of the Oscar-winning The Revenant, American Primeval, a gothic western series. So a mother and son fleeing from their past form a found family while confronting a harsh landscape of freedom and cruelty in the American West. The cast includes Taylor Kitsch, Betty Gilpin, who I like, and Dane DeHaan.
What do you think's out there?
Your father.
In this territory. Bring
Brigham Young trying to make his kingdom. President try to stomp it out. These natives here don't murder you. You got the Wasatch Mountain Range. Grizzlies, wolves, riled up Mormons.
We are the chosen!
This doesn't seem to be a world that favors a woman on her own.
Civilization and civilized, two different words entirely.
Heading west is a mistake.
I have no choice.
You don't listen.
Oh, I listen. I just don't trust you.
Everything I've done, it's been toward him.
Whatever you've done to protect you both, ain't no sin in that.
Coming the same day, January the 9th, also on Netflix, is a Japanese series, Ashura. So set in 1970s Tokyo, 4 distinct sisters uncover their aging father's affair, causing their happy facades and bottled up emotions to slowly unravel. That's streaming January the 9th. Switching over to Disney Plus and Hulu, on the 10th of January, we're getting some more Goosebumps. So Goosebumps The Vanishing, a new set of anthology horror tales for kids. So the stories include twins Cecile and Devon Brewer are sent to spend a summer in Gravesend, Brooklyn with their divorced dad. A threat is stirring and they quickly realise that dark secrets are among them, triggering a chain of events that unravel a profound mystery. Also, Alex, CJ and Frankie find themselves entangled by a chilling tale of 4 teenagers who mysteriously vanished in 1994. 8 new episodes streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu from January 10th. One of the big returning shows to Apple TV this year is the surreal workplace sci-fi series Severance. Written and directed by Ben Stiller and starring quirky deadpan king Adam Scott, this breakout office-based sci-fi returns for a second series after season 1 ended on a massive cliffhanger. New characters will be played by the likes of Geraldine Christie, Ali Shawkat, Bob Balaban and Miriam Rivas, so that's one hell of a cast. Season 2 of Severance comes to Apple TV on January the 17th.
Everything they told you about Severance is a lie.
I give consent to sever my memories between my work life and my personal life.
We're not happy. We're miserable.
What is it we actually do here?
People forget.
My wife.
She's alive!
Who are you people?
Welcome back, Marcus. Been a minute.
Back on Netflix, and speaking of season 2, we're getting a second season of The Night Agent on January the 23rd. So this is the espionage thriller series, which is from the writer of The Shield. Peter finds himself fully immersed in the mysterious world of Night Action, a top secret organisation rife with deadly secrets. So The Night Agent returns to Netflix on the 23rd of January. For true crime enthusiasts, Scaramanda might be one to look out for on Hulu coming January the 30th. So this is based on the award-winning true crime podcast produced by women rights activist and presenter Charlie Webster. The 4-part docuseries follows Amanda Riley, a wife, mother, blogger, and Christian whose tragic cancer tale intrigued everyone. She has a secret she's dying to keep. Anonymous tip to an investigative reporter, her own words may be her downfall. Scaramanda is expected to stream on Hulu in the US on January the 30th and should come to Europe and Australia a bit after that.
Amanda Riley was a mother, wife,
Speaker at her church.
everybody loved her. She got diagnosed with cancer.
I heard the words, "You have stage 3 blood cancer."
We thought she was God's gift.
When Amanda told me she had cancer, I was so devastated.
A beloved young Christian woman fighting a battle undeserved.
We gave our hearts, our prayers. Everybody put their hands over her and said, "Heal this woman. God, heal her."
I'm thankful that I have cancer because I am now surrounded by the right people in my life.
There was just something inside of me just saying, this isn't right.
And then all of a sudden, it went dark.
She was a liar.
Why would somebody fake cancer?
Thousands of people threw money at her.
I started donating $500 a month, $3,000, $20,000.
The community raised $100,000.
Everyone's lives has been touched by cancer, and that was something Amanda tapped into. What surprised me is the lengths that she went to fake the cancer.
There's all these pictures of her in the hospital with IVs, tubing.
I could see a nurse in the background.
The information that Amanda gave didn't make sense. These things are not adding up. I don't think she's sick.
She was being accused of faking cancer.
I could not believe the level she had taken this scam to.
This is beyond disgusting.
How can a mother do that? This is an absolute nightmare.
She hurt tons of people.
I've never felt so betrayed.
She ripped apart my family.
I'm sorry. I'm still shaking. Is this normal?
Why would somebody fake such a horrible disease?
It was only a matter of time until Amanda's whole world came tumbling down.
I was like, ha, you're lying and you're getting caught. This is over. But it wasn't. Not even close.
Also expected in the first half of 2025, Season 2 of The Last of Us, so the sequel to perhaps the greatest video game adaptation of all time. That was Season 1 of The Last of Us, so Series 2 is highly anticipated, with leads Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey returning alongside new cast members, including Caitlin Denver as Abby, Isabella Manchert as Dina, Danny Ramirez as Manny. You also have Children Adventure star Tati Gabriella as Nora and Catherine O'Hara in an undisclosed role, although the previews seem to indicate she might be related to Joel somehow, and Jeffrey Wright as Isaac Dixon, so some great additions to the cast for this season. And Season 2 is said to be spanning 7 episodes, and it will be based on the sequel to the Last of Us video games. But the writers have said that they don't want to overtake the video games, so they're saying that there will be probably multiple seasons that will be based on part 2 of the video game. So The Last of Us Series 2 should be coming in the first half of 2025.
Oh, you want to start or what? Let's try something different. You can't heal something unless you're brave enough to say it out loud. I'm not bound by my Say the thing you're afraid to say. Say it out loud, no matter what it is, no matter how bad. What did you do?
I will be covering The Last of Us Season 2 on the channel, and I will also be covering Yellow Jackets Season 3 on the channel when it starts, and we do have a release date for this. It's going to be February the 14th on Showtime and Paramount Plus. It's also expected to be a bonus episode sometime before then. So Oscar winner Hilary Swank and Community star Joe McHale join as the returning cast for season 3 of the hit dark comedy thriller. After the divisive second season ended in dramatic fashion, there are still plenty of questions to be answered, especially in the wilderness. Rumour has it that Alva Farrell is set to appear also, so I guess we're getting more of Jackie. The fate of Coach Ben, in my opinion, may be the most intriguing subplot. Yellow Jackets Season 3 starts weekly on February the 14th.
Once upon a time, a bunch of teenage girls got stranded in the wilderness and they went completely nuts. Can't believe we didn't eat that first. I want to know what happened out there.
This place will follow us for the rest of our lives.
Are you hearing this? What is happening?
Someone wants to kill us.
The only people that know about this are either us or dead.
You're not in charge anymore.
Oh. Everything will be okay.
Coming February the 19th to Disney Plus, we have Pixar's first ever series, and that is Win or Lose. So it's a sports-based series. It follows the intertwined stories of 8 different characters as they each prepare for their big championship softball game. The series reveals what it's like to be in each character's shoes, including the insecure kids, the helicopter parents, even a lovesick umpire. It stars Will Fontaine, and it starts streaming February the 19th.
Pickles, huddle up! You all did great today, but there is one person who did the same level as all of you, just fantastic, but better. Anyway, I see a whole lot of people who underestimated us. And you know what? Sometimes you have to earn your respect. Tonight is our moment for redemption.
For those not bored of MCU content and hungry for more Daredevil, he returns to Disney Plus the 4th of March with Daredevil Born Again, based on comic books. Matt Murdock, a blind lawyer with heightened abilities, he's fighting for justice through his bursting law firm. Former mob boss Wilson Fisk pursues his own political endeavours in New York. When their past identities begin to emerge, both men find themselves on an inevitable collision course. So returning from the original series, you have Charlie Cox in the lead and also Vincent D'Onofrio. They are joined by Margarita Devervan, Deborah Ann Will, and also Elder Hansen. Daredevil Born Again, March the 4th. Coming March 20th, we have The Residents on Netflix. So this is the latest from Shondaland. It's by Paul William Davis, and it's a comic version of White House Intrigue with a murder thrown into the mix. So someone is murdered during a state dinner, and Detective Cordelia Cupp, played by Luso Araba, a quirky investigator in the mould of Hercule Poirot or Benoit Blanc, may be the only one who can solve the crime. Viewers might be in for a wild ride, so says Vanity Fair. And it also stars Generico Esposito, Susan Kelechi Watson, Jason Lee, and Veronica Mars's Ken Marino. That starts March the 20th on Netflix. Starting on Apple TV on March the 26th, we have The Studio, a quirky Hollywood satire from the producing team of Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. Rogen also stars as newbie head of a venerated studio called Continental. The starry cast also includes Catherine O'Hara, again, Catherine Hahn, Chase Wonders, with cameos expected from the likes of Bryan Cranston, Martin Scorsese, and Charlize Theron. Now, prediction for this one, I think it will either be brilliant or disappear up its own arse. Find out with The Studio, Apple TV, March the 26th.
So, how do you feel in all this?
You know, I got into this because, you know, I love movies. But now I have this fear that my job is to ruin them.
The job is a meat grinder.
Sing, 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 sing. Everybody start to sing.
The Continental, we don't make artsy films. We make movies. Movies!
Being the head of Continental is the only job I've ever wanted. Stop! Stop! No! It's just so much harder than I thought it was going to be.
You're talentless, spineless.
What is wrong with you?
No one likes you.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm here to save your career. Help me help you win.
You'll make a great studio head.
Moving into April, and also on Apple TV Plus, on April the 11th, you have Your Friends and Neighbours. Starring Jon Hamm, he stars as a hedge fund manager who has been fired and is grappling with his new divorce. With nothing left to lose, he resorts to stealing from his wealthy neighbours, only to discover the secrets in their homes are even more valuable. So that's Your Friends and Neighbours, starring Jon Hamm, Apple TV, April the 11th. Also coming in the first part of 2025, probably in February, White Lotus Season 3 at HBO Max. So this is Series 3 of Mike White's satirical anthology, each season set at the White Lotus Hotel but in a different location, and Season 3 will be set somewhere in Asia, I think Thailand, and it's expected to focus on Eastern religion, amongst other things. You will have a strong somber cast once again, including Gone Girl's Carrie Coon, Leslie Bibb, Walter Goggins, Scott Glenn, Jason Isaacs, Charlotte Le Bon, Michelle Monaghan, Parker Posey, and Arnie's son himself, Patrick Schwarzenegger. White Lotus Season 3 coming to HBO in the first part of 2025. On June 15th, HBO Max gives us the third television series based on George R.R. Martin's A Song of Fire and Ice. A Night of the Seven Kingdoms comes from his Tales of Dunk and Egg novellas. What the fuck are these words? Anyway, details are sketchy. It stars Peter Claffey as Sir Duncan the Tall. What the fuck is going on? The titular Hedge Knight, and Dexter Sol Ashon as Egg. What the fuck is this shit? I've got to say, I enjoyed the original Game of Thrones series for the most part, but after that had finished, I was done with this whole universe. But if you are interested in this stuff, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms will be coming to HBO Max the 15th of June. Another returning show expected either in the first half or maybe midway through 2025 is Star Trek Strange New Worlds, back for Season 3 after the big cliffhanger at the end of Season 2 before the writer's strike went down. But it is the best Trek show of the modern era without doubt, and I will be covering it on the channel once again, and here's a preview.
I was able to jury-rig the Kerkovian serum that turned human Spock back into a Vulcan. Should be able to do the same for us, only in reverse.
The sensory change is brief. The feeling is instantaneous. I will guide you through the sensation until you are acclimated, which should not take long. Physical adjustments follow soon after. I would suggest a deep breath. By the time you reach 3, it should be over.
My emotions feel
overwhelming. Oh, I cannot handle this.
You don't feel anything?
No. And to be honest, I'm a little jealous. That looked like fun.
This feeling is unusual.
My perception has increased.
Everything I once found dull now seems to be
fascinating.
Oh, poop. The same problem with LSD in the 1960s and the 1990s and last July.
Wow, your ears are so pointy.
Radiation normal.
What? Already?
Enterprise, the energy system is now repaired.
All atomic levels are nominal. The energy source is functioning perfectly.
You sound upset.
Well, yeah. They're making me look bad.
We have completed the mission. You may return us to Enterprise.
Thought this would be a bit more exciting, but whatever. Hello, shore leave.
I haven't even broken into a sweat.
Welcome back.
I believe we will still be able to reach Permanente 3 within expected travel parameters.
I'm almost disappointed not to be able to take further advantage of my temporary Vulcan abilities.
Agreed. My communication style has never been so efficient.
How was the mission for you, Mr. Spock?
Ironic, because I was constantly reminded that I was logically the least Vulcan member present.
Chapel, what was that subvocalization?
What do you see?
For reasons unknown, the Kerkovian serum does not appear to be working. It appears that we will remain Vulcans indefinitely.
Sticking on an epic sci-fi theme, and does it get any more epic than this? The show that has defined the streaming era of television finally comes to an end in 2025. Yes, the 5th and final season of Stranger Things. Stranger Things 5 will air on Netflix sometime probably in the midpoint of 2025, and it will conclude and carry on from the cliffhanger of Season 4. There's not much more to say, really. We've got the episode titles out now in advance. Let's take a look. I will cover it on the channel once again. Other TV shows coming back or debuting in 2025 without release dates at the moment includes Poker Face Season 2 on Peacock. So one of the streaming gems of recent years, Natasha Lyonne returns in this smart female twist on the Columbo formula set across a wide range of Middle America. So this season she's joined by the likes of Giancarlo Esposito, again Katie Holmes, Gabby Hoffman, Cynthia Aurelio, and The Office's BJ Novak. So Poker Face Season 2 coming to Peacock sometime next year. He's alive! He's alive! Yes, sadly Dexter Morgan is still alive as they've urged Michael C. Hall back into the fray with so much money I guess he couldn't resist. Same with Jennifer Carpenter, they're both returning for a new Dexter show, Dexter Resurrection, summer 2025. And sometime in 2025 we will be getting Wednesday Season 2 to Scream 5 and 6, and ex-star Jenna Ortega, a scream queen in her own right, will return as the title character, her take on Wednesday Addams. The first series was a rip-roaring success for the streamer a couple of years ago, and you can expect the sequel show coming sometime next year. The returning cast from season 1 plus a cameo from Lady Gaga is promised. For period drama fans, the BBC have announced The Other Bennett Sister for some time in 2025, so a 10-part drama series based on the 2020 novel of the same name by Janice Hardlow. So it's a spin-off of Pride and Prejudice, no surprise, and focuses on Mary Bennet, the overlooked middle sister of the Bennet family. Mary is described as awkward, anxious and full of fats, and is seemingly destined for the dance card for the rest of her life. However, she takes matters into her own hands. So the series is produced by the production company Behind Industry, and it's also written by Sarah Crittrell of The Power fame. Author has also behind productions such as The Great British Bake Off, Line of Duty and Wolf Hall. That's The Other Bennett Sister coming to the BBC next year. One of the more surprising returns of the year will be The Night Manager, which is coming back for a season 2 and later on a season 3. Tom Hiddleston returns from the original to play Jonathan Pine. It was based, the original series that is, of course, on the John le Carré novel. Olivia Colman has also been signed on to return in her role as Angela Barr, a gender swap version of the intelligence agent who has worked alongside Jonathan to bring down Hugh Laurie's Richard Roper. Added to the cast this time, you have Diego Cavell, you've got Camilla Monroe of the Daisy Jones and the Six fame. The series will once again be written by show creator David Furr, and the main showrunner, the main director for the series is Georgie Banks Davis, who is known for works such as I Hate Susie and Paper Girls. So The Night Manager Season 2, I'm definitely intrigued. It will be coming later, probably around the midpoint 2025. Sorry, I think that's going to air on Amazon Prime in the UK, AMC in the US. And finally, we have a new Tina Fey show coming to Netflix sometime in 2025. Filming began late 2024 for The Four Seasons, which is a redoing of the 1980s movie, and it's a date night reunion as Steve Carell stars alongside Tina Fey in this adaptation of the 1981 rom-com. So the former co-stars are set to lead the upcoming series which will see Fey teaming up with longtime collaborators Lang Fisher and Tracy Ringfield to write the comedy. Fey also appears in one episode, I think. Will Fontaine in the cast as a series regular alongside Coleman Domingo from Rusty, Kiri Kennedy Silver, I'll go with White Hot American Summer Camp, First Day of Camp, and Erica Erickson from Girls 5 Ever, which I know was another series Faye collaborated on. The film was originally written by Alan Elder and stars Elder and Carol Burnett and Rita Moreno. So Netflix has ordered an 8 episodes of this series produced by Universal Television, and it reunites Faye with her collaborators who originally worked on 30 Rock together, and later on they launched their own shows, including Faye's Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. A new Tina Fey show always sounds exciting to me, so the 4 seasons will be coming to Netflix next year. So on to film for the New Year's Day, an indie romantic drama from director John Crawley, who previously did Boy A. We Live in Time, so it stars Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield, an unconventional love story that plays with the limits of time as Ermet and Tobias are brought together in a surprise encounter that changes their lives. Returning to horror, as January the 10th sees the release of Blumhouse's new version of the Universal Monsters classic Wolfman, from Upgrade and Invisible Man director Lee Ranell. The pick of the more low-key indie cast is the criminally underrated Julia Garner of Ozark.
It sounded like an animal. But I swear to God, it was standing on 2 feet.
Daddy, are we gonna die?
No, it's my job to protect you.
What's wrong with Daddy?
He got sick.
Blake, Daddy's scaring me! Blake, stop!
Also out in January, TriStar Pictures gives us One of Them Days, a female buddy film starring Nope's Keke Palmer and singer-songwriter SZA. On January the 17th, Netflix brings us Back in Action. And yes, oh my god, Cameron Diaz is back in action, trying to resurrect her career. Stars Jamie Foxx, Andrew Scott, Kyle Chandler and Glenn Close, so quite the cast. Former CIA spies Emily and Matt are pulled back into espionage after their secret identities are exposed. Out the same day, January the 17th, we have a new Steven Soderbergh thriller called Presence. Very little is known about the movie, but as well as Soderbergh, one of the co-writers is David Krupp, who famously co-wrote Jurassic Park, and it stars Lucy Liu with a setup of a family moving to a new home with dark secrets and dangers lurking. Coming January the 23rd, straight to streaming and Paramount Plus, the long-awaited Section 31 Star Trek movie. It was originally going to be a spin-off TV series. Oscar-winning Michelle Yeoh reprises her role from Star Trek Discovery. Set in the franchise's Lost Era, Pacino original series films, and the Next Generation series, it follows Philippa Georgiou as she works with Section 31, secret division of Starfleet tasked with protecting the United Federations of Planets. So this is one that I'm looking forward to. Section 31 I will be reviewing. It comes out on January the 23rd.
An emperor can only be loyal to duty. Thus does the empire remain strong. Thus does it grow. All hail the emperor!
people by the millions. The past always catches up with you.
You're Section 31.
Okay, ladies, now let's get information.
31 is a Black Ops division. Spy work. Starfleet is here to make sure no one commits murder.
What a cute idea.
Prove to me you got some coordination.
It's gonna be bumpy and bad.
You're a bad bitch.
We can't trust you with our lives, but here we go.
Somebody's got to keep it lively, right?
Dreamboat, so the latest low-budget horror to cash in on a kids-friendly franchise going public. Yes, it's a horror reimagining of Walt Disney's 1928 short film Steamboat Willie. See what they did with the title. A group of New Yorkers are terrorized by a murderous version of Mickey Mouse, played by Terrifier star David Howard Thornton, so that's quite a get. The film also stars Tyler Posey and is from the producers of Terrifier 2 and the Meme ones. So Screamboat comes January the 24th. Dogman, new DreamWorks animation based on Dave Pikey's graphic novel. It is a spin-off and story within a story of Captain Underpants, which came out in 2017. The film has a diverse voice cast, including Pete Davidson, Isla Fisher, Stephen Root, Billy Boyd, and Ricky Gervais.
This just in. What if we sew the dog's head onto the man's body? He's Dogman Super Cop.
You have all the strength of a dog and all the skills of a kung fu cop. Why do you always gotta lick the inside of my mouth? No time to waste. Cut it out. Stop it.
Dogman, rated PG, in theaters January 31st.
Break the dog. Hit the siren. Dogman! This Super Cop made friends, solves crimes, and even plays piano for the old folks.
Dogman, listen up. You're the only one that can stop me. You only have one job to do. Keep your eyes on those monitors. And if somebody just happens to have an Ethan Gray squirrel.
Dogman, rated PG.
Cut it out.
January 31st.
I'm gonna take over the world!
This February, he's part dog, part man, all hero.
Dogman!
Why do you always gotta lick the inside of my mouth? Go and arrest Petey, and I don't care if it takes a montage. Dogman!
How evil can one cat be?
Pretty evil!
Dogman in cinemas February 7th.
In the run-up to Valentine's Day, Sony Pictures are giving us this romantic-themed comedy slasher called Heart Eyes. So that comes on February the 7th. And the setup is that co-workers working late on Valentine's Day are mistaken for a couple by the infamous Heart Eyes killer. It's produced and co-written by Happy Death Day director Christopher Landon, so he may be the most promising things attached to it. The director Josh Rubin has also directed Scare Me and Werewolves Within. The fresh face cast includes Olivia Holt, Scream's Mason Gooding, Saturday Night Live's Michaela Watkins, and they're joined by more experienced horror stars Devon Sawyer of the Final Destination movies, Joe Dana Brewster of the Faculty fame. Here's hoping there's some fun tongue-in-cheek humour.
You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I thank God every night.
And coming out the days before Valentine's Day, a fourth Bridget Jones movie. Bridget Jones, mad about the boy from the Helen Fielding novel. Renée Zellweger, of course, returns. And this time it does seem to be focusing on the son. And my co-host Rachel says this one could be different because, of course, the original Bridget Jones is a beloved classic. The previous sequel just seemed kind of pointless. But Rachel tells me this one could be different. Well, I'll remind her of that. So you've got Colin Firth returning. You've also got Heretic star Hugh Grant returning. See what I did there? Emma Thompson is in this one. Plus you've got the likes of Chiwetel Ejiofor, Leo Wardell, who was really good in Netflix's version of One Day. Isla Fisher is in this one. Josette Simon, Nicole Parker, and Layla Facade. By the way, one of the writers, as well as Helen Fielding, is also Abby Morgan, who does have a pretty good track record when it comes to quite meaty, stylish TV shows in the UK. Bridget Jones, Mad About the Boy, comes out over Valentine's Day. Also coming Valentine's Day, Marvel Studios gives us Captain America Brave New World. So this is the third Captain America movie. It was on from the Disney Plus limited series, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Following the election of Theodorus Russ as the President of the United States, Sam Wilson finds himself at the centre of an international incident that must work to stop the true masterminds behind it. The cast includes Anthony Mackie returning to the lead role. You've also got Danny Maria as Shira Haas, Giancarlo Esposito, again, this guy gets everywhere, Liv Tyler, Tim Blake Nelson, and Harrison Ford. Another big Valentine's Day release is Apple TV's survival action movie, The Gorge. So this one stars Miles Teller, Anna Taylor-Joy, and Sigourney Weaver, amongst others. And the premise is that two elite snipers are assigned a mysterious mission to guard either side of a deep and impenetrable gorge without knowing what actually lies beneath them. For some reason I thought the title was going to be a play on gorgeous. I'm actually a bit disappointed now. It's directed by Scott Derrickson, who, depending on your point of view, has a very mixed to iffy track record, but he's directed things such as The Exorcism of Emily Rose and also The Black Phone. So The Gorge comes to Apple TV on the 14th of Feb.
I have new orders that require me to go dark for at least a year, maybe more. A special assignment in an undisclosed location.
As an elite sniper, are you presently under any private or military contract?
No. There's not a lot of reasons for me right now.
What if I gave you a reason?
There she is. West Tower Observation Post. Your home for the next 365 days. There is no outside communication here.
What's that on the other side?
That is East Tower. Contact with the other side is strictly forbidden.
So what's the mission? To keep people from going in the gorge?
No. You need to stop what's in the gorge from coming out.
What the hell is that?
The gorge is the door to hell. And we're standing guard at the gate.
Truth about this place? What's the truth about the gorge?
21st, there's a new film from Longlegs director Osgood Perkins. It's called The Monkey, and it comes from a Stephen King story. After stumbling upon their father's vintage toy monkey in the attic, twin brothers Hal and Bill witness a string of horrifying deaths unfolding around them. In an attempt to leave the haunting behind, the brothers discard the monkey and pursue separate paths. Inexplicable deaths resurface. The brothers are compelled to reconcile and embark to permanently eliminate the cursed toy. The cast includes Theo James, Tatiana Maslany, Elijah Wood, Sarah Levy, and a cameo from the director himself.
For the longest time, there was nothing. But then, it appeared. A beast not from this earth, smiting the ones who deserved it, the ones who didn't. And everyone in between. Whoever controls it controls life and death. And those deaths are really fucked up.
Holy sh! Everybody dies. And that's life.
It's a goddamn mess in there. Have you been up there? It's like that restaurant. Spaghetti City.
Everything okay up there?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Come on, baby, let's
Coming early March from Warner Brothers, a new film from Black Panther director Ryan Coogler. It's called Sinners. It stars Coogler regular Michael B. Jordan in a Jew role, and the always watchable Haley Steinfeld, along with Back to Black star Jack O'Connell. To leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers, played by Jordan, return to their hometown only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them. Coming to Netflix on March the 14th, a new film from the Russo brothers called The Electric State. It's a science fiction adventure comedy. It is set in 1994. A young girl is approached by a robot who claims to know her missing brother, and with it she sets out to find him. A stacked cast includes Millie Bobby Brown, Chris Pratt, Ken Han-Kuo, Stanley Tucci, Jason Alexander, Brian Cox, Jenny Slate, and Billy Bob Thornton. That's The Electric State, coming March the 14th. On March the 21st, we get the latest Disney live-action remake, which could potentially piss people off all over again. This time, it's a new version of the original Disney animation classic Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs by Amazing Spider-Man and 500 Days of Summer director Mark Webb, and it's co-written by Barbie director Greta Gerwig. So in this case, Snow White is played by Rachel Zegler, Spielberg's version of West Side Story. It also stars Gal Gadot as the evil queen, and Andrew Burnap is also in the cast. With a budget of nearly $3 million, Disney are once again risking another flop. Snow White comes out 21st of March. Having dropped out of Scream 7, Happy Death Day director Christopher Landon's next movie is a Scream-style whodunit. Drop is co-written by Gillian Jacobs, who at first I thought was the Community actress. Instead, it turns out it's the writer of such things as Fantasy Island or Truth or Dare, so red flag there. Violet, a widowed mother on her first date in years, arrives at an upscale restaurant to find Henry, her date, even more charming and handsome. Their chemistry begins to curdle as Violet begins being irritated and then terrorized by a series of anonymous drops to her phone. She's warned to tell no one and follow instructions, or else the hooded figure on her home security cameras will kill Violet's son and sister. Her unseen tormentor also wants her to kill Henry. Soap and stage actress Megan Fahey takes the lead. So this is an intriguing one with a fun idea. And Christopher Landon at the helm suggests we could have some twists and turns and a little bit of fun. Drops on April the 11th. April 18th brings Detective Conan One-Eyed Flashback. So this is a Japanese animated mystery film, and it's the 28th film in the franchise, the Case Closed series, based on the manga by Gosho Alamama. The voice cast includes Mayami Takalama, Wakanama Lakamazuka, and Yuji Takadado. So that's Detective Conan One-Eyed Flashback.
あの事故の日、俺は何を見たんだ。君子、仇を報ずるに10年遅からず。
おっちゃん！劇場版名探偵コナン赤眼のフラッシュバック。
ついてくんな。遊びじゃねえんだ。
Also on April 18th, what could be a contender for Film of the Year as the delayed Mickey 17 from Parasite director Bong Joon-ho arrives. Waiting to get out of Earth, Mickey Barnes signs up to be an expendable. After one iteration dies, a new body is regenerated with most of their memories intact. After one of his multiples, Mickey 17 unintentionally survives a human expedition to colonize the ice world of Niflheim. He goes head to head with a new multiple. A strong cast includes Robert Pattinson, Naomi Ackie, Stephen Yeun, Toni Collette and Mark Ruffalo. So this science fiction dark comedy Mickey 17 finally arrives on April the 18th. Into May, and May the 2nd sees, let's whisper this, shall we, a more promising Marvel movie. Thunderbolts is out, a new Marvel brand movie with some familiar faces. A group of anti-heroes goes on missions for their American government. It includes Florence Pugh returning as Yelena from Black Widow. I actually quite enjoyed that movie. Sebastian Stan, who describes his super soldier Bucky Barnes and his role as akin to Jack Nicholson's in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, so that's intriguing. David Harbour is also back. Wyatt Russell and the brilliant Julia Louis-Dreyfus of Seinfeld and Veep fame is back in the mix.
Tell me, was the sacrifice for these people worth it?
There is something wrong with all of us. None of us have purpose, and we're just drifting. We can't escape the past.
But we have a choice. Either do something about it now, or live with it forever.
We're brought up with this belief that there are good guys and there are bad guys. But eventually you come to realize that there are bad guys and there are worse guys. And nothing else.
Getting so tense in here.
Who sent you?
Nobody. You were all sent.
What the hell?
You have no idea what you've walked into.
We are the Thunder! Thunderbolts!
Maybe a gem to come out of Spain this year is this movie El Insito, coming out around about mid-May in Spain, hopefully across Europe and other parts of the world later on in the year. But it's a psychological thriller directed by Juan Abarensi and starring Goya award-winning actor Javier Pereira and Eva Le Manche. After Sonny warns agoraphobic architect Abel that his career is impaled to receive an alternative treatment by dog trainer Jose. So it does sound intriguing. It's coming out mid-May in Spain, like I said. Production company is also called Twin Freaks, so that was always going to grab my attention. Very nice. That's El Insito. It seems like it would never come, but finally we're getting the 6th Final Destination movie this May the 16th, and it's already been cursed because it's got the dreaded Bloodline subtitles. That's right, they're taking out the 6 and it's Final Destination : Bloodlines. Oh boy, so many horror sequels have sucked because of that tagline over the years. Good bit of news is that it does feature the late great Tony Todd in his last ever role in any movie, which is fitting because his role in the first couple of Final Destination movies were a big part of getting that franchise going, and it is a couple of his most iconic performances and roles. No spoilers for guessing his most iconic. Just don't say it 3 times. Todd is the pick of the cast. Work if it's executed well in a wacky, let's kill off these obnoxious characters with maybe 1 or 2 quite likeable one Final Destination style thing. But the other cast include Breck Basinger, no relation to Kim as far as I know. And the only one I have heard of is Theo Breers. Rumours of Devon Sawyer and Ali Larter having roles in the film and it tying heavily back into the original still haven't been confirmed, but there's still time, of course. I hope it just works as a standalone fun sequel with maybe a couple of subtle nods to earlier films. But me and Rachel had a lot of fun talking about and reviewing the Final Destination movies, the 5 previous ones. So at some point we will check out this one and cover it later in the year. But Final Destination Bloodlines coming in May. Coming at the end of May from Sony Pictures, Karate Kid Legends. Now, if you want the definitive Karate Kid experience with a bit of nostalgia thrown in, but also some great characters you can get behind and enjoy, I would recommend the first 2 Karate Kids. Karate Kid 2 is a criminally underrated sequel. Cobra Kai, which has been a booming success Netflix, and from what I've seen, I've really enjoyed that stuff. That is the nostalgia of this stuff done probably as good as it's going to be done, I think. But if you're game for more, then Karate Kid Legends does that mashup thing of bringing Ralph Macchio together with Jackie Chan. You see what they did there, Ralph Macchio? In the original Karate Kid, the lead, Jackie Chan, the lead of, or at least one of the leads of the 2010 remake, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Book of Boba Fett star Ming Lam Win, who I would watch reading a phone book, so I'm happy she's in this. Also, Mighty Ducks star himself, and Pacey Witter, Joshua Jackson's in there. My advice, if this movie turns out shit and you're not happy with it, just watch the first couple Karate Kid movies and Cobra Kai on Netflix. Save yourself a lot of heartache. May 30th, this one, Crane kicks its way into cinemas. Mission Impossible 8 Dead Reckoning Part 1 was met with a lukewarm response and was a letdown for many of the die-hard fans, but there's still time to turn this thing around and give this epic franchise one hell of a send-off, sending it off on an all-time high. Cruzy and co. will be determined to make this one final memorable mission. Dead Reckoning Part 2 comes out May the 23rd.
Ethan, You've been facing death your whole life. You've wanted to have the control of everything. I have something for you that you cannot face. It's not death. It's winning with a loss.
If this has to be the end of the line,
Run away!
it's good to have you by my side.
In the end, you will have to decide who to save. They will all chase you, and you won't have a place to hide.
We have a problem.
I have never understood him, and I never will.
Sometimes you'll have to accept that you cannot save us all. This won't bring her back.
You wrote your story and that of your friends when you got in our way.
If this is our last mission, let's get it done.
You guys game for some more from the John Wick universe? In the 6th, you have from the world of John Wick, Ballerina, and I've got to say, I'm not invested in the whole John Wick universe. I've only seen one of the movies, to be honest, but I'm in for this one, no matter how shit it actually turns out, for one reason. The lead, Ana de Armas, that goddess of a woman, so beautiful, so sexy, so stylish, and such a kick-ass talented actress. I'm so in to watch her lead a John Wick movie because she does action really, really well. I just loved that scene in the middle of the last James Bond movie. Taking place between the events of Palabaram and Chapter 4, Ian McCurry, a ballerina assassin, begins to train in the assassin traditions of Raska Roman and sets out to exact revenge for her father's death. Stars Angelica Houston, legend; Gabriel Byrne, legend; Lance Reddick, R.I.P. legend; and Ian McShane, legend. Coming later on in June, on June the 20th, one of the biggest horror returns of the year and one of the more surprising, as Danny Boyle and Alex Garland reunite for the third 28 years sequel, 28 years later. So originally in 2002, they produced one of the most influential horror movies of the past 20 years. Then later on, around about, I think it was 2013, 2014, you actually had a pretty solid and underrated, I thought, sequel in 28 Weeks Later, not directed by Danny Boyle. But he's back, as I said, along with Garland, and the cast includes Jodie Comer, Jack O'Connell, Aaron Taylor Johnson. So interesting stuff. Let's see how this one all pans out. Turning into a packed summer at the end of June, on the 27th, we're finally getting Megan 2.0. Let's see if it can satisfy fans of the original. I will say releasing it in the middle of summer is a little bit of a gamble, because part of the first film's success was the fact that it was dropped very early on in that year, where there wasn't that much competition. Let's see how it fares though. So along with the returning leads, you also have Jenna Davis, Jermaine Clement, Brian Jordan Alvarez.
This is the future! And futures are always a little messy.
We always return to our creators and those we love. I swore I wouldn't leave Katie. And to protected her. I may have changed. But I remember everything. Do you?
Megan multiplied and grew stronger. If we can't stop them, I won't be the only victim.
The Jurassic franchise has certainly had many ups and downs since the classic masterpiece original Jurassic Park back in the early 90s. Me and Rachel have covered all the movies on the channel, and no doubt at some point we'll be checking out the next instalment, which might be getting a fresh coat of paint, fingers crossed. Godzilla and Rogue One director Gareth Edwards seems to be a pretty fitting choice to take the reins. You've also got the likes of A-lister Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali joining in this new adventure. Well, it comes out July the 3rd, Jurassic World Rebirth. Let's whip through a few more to wrap up this video. Coming July 11th, James Gunn starts his reign off at DC with his new own version of the classic Superman, with a brand new Superman, plus the likes of Rachel Brosnan, who I'm guessing might be Lois Lane, Nicholas Hoult, and also Courtney B. Vance involved in this one. We just got a teaser. Superman, the new one, comes out July the 11th.
Home. Take me home.
Bar is very, very low considering the standard of the previous I Know What You Did Last Summer movie and that god-awful Amazon TV show, which somehow made the original films look like masterpieces. But what are you waiting for? There's plenty of nostalgia to go around as original stars Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. return for this as yet untitled I Know What You Did Last Summer fourth movie. Michelle Gellar will not star, but she is said to be producing along with her husband. July 18th, this one comes out. We may just be covering this one too. Moving into the start of August, we're truly into blockbuster season and so many reboots or sequels. But what the hell is this? The combination of Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson in a Naked Gun remake or reboot. What the fuck? Well, I love the original, so nothing can really match the Naked Gun movies from the past, but I would be lying if I'm not intrigued. I kind of love this wacky combination they've put together. I just want to see this train wreck. And, well, we're also getting a Freakier Friday 2. Well, just Freakier Friday. You see what they did there? So technically a sequel to the remake of the earlier movie. So both Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan are returning for another go around for the body swap stuff. They at least had very good chemistry in that movie back in the early 2000s. So you've got a good combination, but can Lindsay Lohan get over her blues and make it big in this comeback? And later on in September, we're getting Saw 11. And why the hell are they dancing late September for Saw 11? I still haven't seen Saw 10. Maybe this will give me a reason to. Late September. Was Black Phone from a couple of years ago director Scott Derrickson's best ever movie? Today, anyway, I think it quite possibly was. I don't think we really needed a sequel, but maybe they'll prove us wrong. It was obviously successful enough, so Ethan Hawke returns for this one, and a bunch of familiar faces from the first movie. Derrickson once again directs. For the Black Phone Part 2, which is one of the big spooky season releases next year, it's coming October the 17th. One of the more intriguing reboots coming this year is Edgar Wright's version of The Running Man, originally based on a Stephen King story, sci-fi hit for Arnie in the 80s. It's gone down as a bit of a cult campy favourite, but no doubt Wright grew up with a lot of nostalgia for this movie, which is partly why he wants to remake it. Star of the moment Glenn Powell is involved, as well as William H. Macy. A lot riding on this, because ever since his Cornetto trilogy, Wright has a very mixed track record for most people anyway. So The Running Man is a very interesting choice for him, and it could maybe win him back some fans. It comes out on November the 21st. That comes out the same day as Wicked 2, which completes that two-parter. So let's see how that all plays out. And there's no doubt about the big release in December, as we're finally getting Avatar 3, Fire and Ice from James Cameron. And, well, does anyone care? It's like Marmite, you either love or hate this franchise. You're either bored with it or just enthralled. But are some of the people going to the cinema even that interested? Are they just going just for the sake of going because it's a new Avatar movie? Who knows? It comes out December the 19th. I'm sure it'll do very well once again. But will it be any good? Who knows? Let's wait and see. I'm kind of lukewarm on this series and this universe. But Avatar, Fire and Ash, the big third movie, and that's about it. There's also a Five Nights at Freddy's sequel. Yay! Happy Christmas, Happy New Year. I will be covering quite a bit in the coming year, probably some of these movies and TV shows. Let me know what you're looking forward to the most in the next 12 months, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.